Priority-wise, it ranks with every other game I've been in charge, mate. They're all important. There's not one that you don't take sort of full focus on. And yeah, I guess my memories are similar to anyone who loves football. I think the FA Cup's a significant event in a sort of global scale because the FA Cup final day pretty much reaches every corner of the globe, and so everyone's had a sort of some sort of experience with it. And yeah, great competition, great tradition, great history, and looking forward to us having a crack at it.
You obviously won, I think it was 3 cups at Celtic. Can you talk a bit about what impact winning a cup has at a club? And when you think of this club in particular, how much of an opportunity does it present to win a trophy?
Yeah, look, I think every club, that's kind of you start every season with hopefully the ambition and the dreams of winning silverware, because you know the impact it has on the fans more than anything else. And yeah, obviously from my perspective, it's an opportunity for us to try and win a competition, and that's for the club of our stature, that has to be the ambition every year, is that you go into every competition with the aim and the hope of winning some silverware.
Of course, it wouldn't be the first week of January without a transfer question. Mm-hmm. Tottenham and Genoa in talks with Radu Dragusin. I just wondered, you've talked about in the past about your priority being a centre-back and the need maybe to get that done early. Are you confident that you'll get your wish in that?
I mean, it's hard to say because, I mean, obviously I don't get involved in that side of it, and as I said, sort of leading into the window, is that we've got some objectives and some targets, and and we're working towards that. People are working behind the scenes, and sort of who are in charge of those areas are working towards that, and my role within that is to, whenever I'm sought for guidance or clarity as to, which way we need to go, I provide that.
Thank you.
Hi, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Top 4, when Top 4 became a Champions League spot, kind of the feeling was the FA Cup took a back step in terms of importance, in terms of magic, in terms of romance. Being a manager whose team are gunning for top 4 this season, is that accurate, or is still winning silverware the holy grail of a manager, a player, a club?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know what I feel about it, and that is that, like I said, every competition I've been in, I want to win. So, it doesn't really, I don't really sort of rank them or diminish one against the other. I think to win any trophy, you've got to earn it, whatever competition it is, whatever, whether that's domestic or continental, everything is hard earned. So, I think I haven't sensed anything within this football club that suggests that this is a competition that is not important to try and achieve. The club does have a history of in this competition. They've won the FA Cup numerous times, and some of the greatest memories that many living Spurs supporters would have would be around FA Cup. So yeah, I certainly don't see it that way. I don't think one really impacts the other. I don't know why, whatever your ambitions are in the league, why that has to affect your ambitions in the other competition.
Does this feel like a cup game because you're playing a team that's in your league, Burnley? I mean, you can't do anything about the draw, clearly, but I mean, because you're playing a team that's in your league, does it feel anything different to a Premier League game?
It does, yeah, and I think you have to treat it differently. I think, teams often take a different approach because, the Premier League has its own pressures and sort of focuses for every team. We're all sort of fighting for different things, and every week is you realise that's there's always a consequence to everything you do, and it affects you not just this week and next week, but cup games you kind of know it's that's it. You've got to give everything on the day. Teams, I think, tend to play a bit freer, less constrained, knowing that progress can only happen if you get the job done on the day. So I think it does take a different feel, even though it's a Premier League opponent. And, you know, Burnley have had a decent running in cup competitions over the last couple of years. So we're expecting a tough game.
Finally, as it's January, obviously you're being linked with players, which you've spoken about. Players being linked with moves away, including Eric Dyer, who can now sign for a club abroad and move in the summer. You've also been linked with a move to West Ham. Any truth in that at all?
No idea. No, not on my radar.
You'd like to keep Eric?
I think Eric is, contracted to this football club, and he's as much in charge of his own destiny as anyone else.
Could we get an injury update?
Yeah. So from last week, unfortunately, Alejo, obviously it was a fairly significant injury, so he had scans on whatever day it was after the game, and it's going to keep him out for probably a couple of months. Won't need surgery, but some significant ligament damage. So disappointing for him, because he's kind of worked hard to get an opportunity in the last couple of weeks. He was kind of growing into it, and really disappointed for him. In terms of last week, everyone else is no issue on injury front. Guys coming back. Mickey van der Ven has trained with us this week, which is good. So he's got through sort of 3 sessions. Not sure about tomorrow, whether he'll be involved or not. And I think everyone else has his.
And James Maddison, he's not as far along as Mickey, obviously, but do you think we'll see him this month?
He's not training with us yet, mate. And as I've said before, until they train with us, it's hard for me to kind of put a timeline on it. He's out running with the sports science crew, but not with us, and not likely to be with us over the next sort of couple of weeks, I don't think.
And Christian, similar sort of thing?
Christian's still very early stages.
I just wanted to ask you about Richarlison. I know you've spoken about it a bit, but obviously he's in great form and had that difficult period earlier. Just wondered if there's anything you could sort of put your finger on as to how things have changed for him on the pitch anyway.
I think I've said consistently, he's free of injury, he feels good physically, and he's just able to perform at the levels that he wants to, and he couldn't do that at the start of the year. Even though he was playing for us, like I said, he was fairly restricted in his movements, and I think it's no sort of magic cure. He got some treatment for what he needed to get treatment for, and he feels good now. He feels his body feels good, and obviously then he's scoring goals, which makes him feel a little bit more confident in himself. But aside from that, he's working really hard for the team at the moment, which has been really important for us, especially the last sort of 2-3 weeks. So he's going well, and hopefully more to come.
And just lastly from me, have you decided on the captain for tomorrow, and are you able to tell us who that will be?
No, not really. I'm not putting too much. The captain is Sonny. Sonny's the club captain, and Matters and Romero. So whoever wears the armband tomorrow is not really that significant to me. What's more important is that Sonny's been an outstanding leader, both in deeds, actions and words, and we're going to need players to step up tomorrow, irrespective of who's wearing the armband. We need to try and fill that sort of breach or hole that he's left, because I think he's been outstanding for us. So again, I'm not putting too much thought in that, whoever it is it'll be, but we'll need a number of people to sort of stand up in that area, just in terms of experience on the day.
I'm sorry if you mentioned that, I completely missed his name. Pat Matisar, is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. He's gone. He's with the national team.
No hamstring issues for him at all?
No, he's fine. He's fine.
Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, back to the transfer window. Just wondering, in your head, whether you share it or not, is there a kind of an ideal number of new faces you'd like to see this month?
No, because again, it doesn't work that way. There's a lot of sort of moving parts in a window like this, and like I said, January you don't expect too much sort of in terms of activity, but I think I've said before that what's important is every opportunity we have to strengthen the team and strengthen the squad, we should try and take, and depending on sort of the opportunities we have to do that in this sort of month, we'll try and do.
And Sergio Reguilón's returned. Is he likely to head back out on loan? Because obviously you're in this situation where if you were to play him, he then can't go out to a third club.
Yeah, again, I think that'll be sort of dictated by a lot of other factors, but not on my radar at the moment.
Okay. And just last one from me, Dane Scarlett. Obviously, a good move in terms of experience with Ipswich, but probably didn't get the game time he would have wanted. Is he someone you maybe have to put an arm round, give him a bit of a reset now for the second half of the season? How does it work with him?
It works that he's back with us and he trains every day and he's got an opportunity to show us what he can do, mate. I mean, that's the life of a footballer. There's no point, he went to Ipswich to play. He didn't, whatever reason, and he's got to take some responsibility of that, but didn't work out. But he's back here now. He's training with us, and like all the other young players, they're before me every day, and they can put a compelling case to play.
Thank you.
Back to James, please.
Hi, Ange. You got a little bit of criticism for the team you picked in the League Cup game at Fulham. Does the reaction to that influence your team selection at all for tomorrow?
What do you reckon?
Probably not.
Yeah, fair summation. No, look, that's all right. People are allowed to criticise. I don't always get it right, but I put out a team I thought could win us the game that night, and we lost on penalties to a Premier League club away from home that's doing pretty well there. So it was early in the season. I know how hard it is to play our football, and if I didn't want to expose the whole group to 3 games in a week that early in the season.
I guess part of the reason for that was obviously because the club's not won anything since 2008, and there is that sense perhaps that there's a frustration that in the past some managers have not taken the domestic cup competition seriously, and that's sort of elongated this wait for silverware. Yeah. Is that whole issue something that you're aware of?
Look, I mean, not that I'm aware of it, but I think I said before that there can't be a desperation to win a trophy because it cures all ills, because it doesn't. Because as soon as you win one, what do you think the fans are going to say? Well, it's okay, you don't have to win one for another 15, 16 years. No, they want more. So it's about putting yourself in a position where you can compete for these things regularly, and give yourself every opportunity to win every competition you're in. But it's not like I said, just winning a trophy and thinking that that's going to be enough at a football club like this, which is the context for what I'm saying. Then like I said, there'd be a demand from not just supporters but players, everyone involved in the club. Well, we want more of this. So you can't just sit back and say, well, but hold on, I've just delivered a trophy. Shouldn't I have some sort of latitude now to not be successful? It doesn't work that way. So like I said, I'm determined to bring success to the football club, but it's not a desperation for something that is going to give us some respite for what's ahead. When you're a big football club, there should be a constant demand for success.
There's often this argument that if you win a domestic cup, it's like a stepping stone to bigger trophies, but obviously it doesn't always work like that, does it? No,
it doesn't, and there's plenty of evidence to suggest that actually doesn't work at all that way, unless you can back it up. And again, at a football club like this, which should be competing for honours every year, I just don't think winning one trophy should be the holy grail. It should be creating a team and a club that's competing for trophies every year.
Finish this section with George, please.
Hi, Ange. How did Rodrigo Bentancur sort of hold up after Sunday, and what did you make of his performance in that number 6 role?
Yeah, he was good. Obviously, he was feeling the effects of the game, but not anything sort of injury related. So which was good, and it was good to get him out there, and he felt good being out there. He's like I said, with a lot of the injured lads, obviously, they want to help out, and he kind of thought he'd done the hard bit getting back the first time, and then you kind of have another setback. So I don't think he fancied really long rehab sort of regime again. He was pretty keen to get back involved, and I was happy to give him the minutes he did, and you could see his quality straight away. He's a very, very good footballer, and I can't wait to sort of, I've said before that, when he's kind of back up to speed from a physical perspective, I think he's going to be a significant contributor for us.
And you're clearly going to miss Son now for this period, But how much encouragement have you taken by kind of a growing relationship, it seems like, with Brennan Johnson and Richarlison? Those 2 goals, Everton and Bournemouth, sort of identical goals. It feels like there's kind of something clicking there for them too.
Yeah, it's developing. I think I've said before that, I think still it's our greatest area of sort of growth still is that front third. I still think we've got so much more to improve on, and but every week we're sort of seeing seeds of that, and the guys developing and getting a better understanding, as you said. But we're not. Sonny's you name a team of the year at the moment, he'd be in it. He's been a hell of a player for us, and it's a big loss for us, another one. So again, we're going to have to really raise everyone's levels to cover the absence of another significant contributor, probably the most significant contributor for us so far in the season.
And just finally from me, and more of a sombre note, Spurs fan, 16 years old, Harry Pittman, was killed on New Year's Eve. The club are going to show his image tomorrow during the 16th minute, and fans are encouraged to sing He's One of Our Own. It won't be much for the family, but does that sort of show football at its best, and when it can be more important than just a game of football?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, you don't even want to be thinking about the circumstances of the family, and that again, where we are as a society, the fact that these things still happen, and young lives are lost for absolutely no reason. And like I said, I couldn't even contemplate the grief and the pain that the family's going through. But that's, like I said, I've always felt football clubs are more than just the embodiment of what we do as in sport. They are an extended community, an extended family for a lot of people, and if it even gives them the smallest amount of comfort, then it's the least that we can do and our fans can do. But it's just like I said, tragic and inconceivable. Just that people, families still have to suffer this sort of grief